This side curls so much better than this side, so that's what's going on there. I need a diva fan. Hey cake nistas, it is Marisha. If you're new to the channel, welcome. You have now opened up what is going to be a very interessante story. That means interesting in German or French. Hey. Hey there, Gala Gala. Come and let's play together. That was my show. Okay, I'm done. That means hurry up that we play. Okay, another day, another cake tale. Today I'm going to be drinking, and I obviously need it. I am so excited about this spiced apple cider. And I am so excited because I haven't had an apple drink beverage thing since I started trying to do the keto situation. And my sister actually gave this to me and I waited for you guys to try it. I sure did. Oh man, it's like taking a bite out of an apple that's got a little bit of maltodextrin in it. That is apple cider. Where have I been? What have I been doing? What have I been missing out? I've been watching a lot of Disney Plus lately. I just watched Aladdin. I loved it. I didn't know it was that good. The reviews weren't all there. They could have been a little bit more, you know. But hey, put a little bit of lemon juice, fresh squeeze in there. That would be so good. That is so good. It's like an apple. Okay. I'm gonna just put it down so I can start. All right, I'm taking you guys back to 1992 in my cake decorating class, right? And it was a lot of fun. It wasn't a heavily like, whoa, you better, why'd I say, whoa, you better do good, like or else you'll fail. But it was a very easygoing class. I loved it because it was so chill and relaxed. We learned buttercreams, like how to make all those tasty Swiss meringue, Italian meringue, American chocolate. I made a German chocolate cake like from scratch for the first time. It was so good. And I haven't made a German chocolate cake since. I used to tear up the box German chocolate cakes. Like those Duncan Hines used to take my money. Okay, so anyway, we had been working up to making wedding cakes and learning how to make stacked cakes and stuff like that. My first stacked cake, it was actually a dummy cake, so it was made of styrofoam, but that was the music themed cake that I came up with. And I did show that in one of my previous videos. At the time, I was like, this is okay. I remember like staring at it for a really long time. And I had a slight disappointment in the background, but I was like, look, that thing has fondant on it, and that was good enough for me. And I cut out all those little music notes. I made a little record on top. Imagine me taking that on the bus, by the way. That was a situation. And then that was basically working up to our cake final. She was telling us about the final. You're gonna come out with a wedding cake theme, and you're going to use real cake this time. I was like, oh Lord. Did I do dowels in that cake? I guess I did. I can't remember doing dowels in the cake though. Wow, I don't know what happened with that. Anyway, well, that would explain some of those cake wrecks that I had. At the time, on TLC, there was a show called The Next Great Baker on, and it was with Buddy the Baker, and it was in progress. Like, they were close to the end, I think in the top 3 or something like that. My chef instructor, the pastry chef, she's telling us, you guys know The Next Great Baker, right? Some people are like, yeah. I was like, because I never watched it. She's like, yeah, so Chef Dana has actually come here and he's graded some of the wedding cake finals before, so maybe I could have him come back this time. She's like, you know, it's no guarantee because now he's on a whole national show, a whole different status, but we'll see what we can do. So that was like, oh, okay, it's a little bit of an incentive to do better. Really, all the incentive that I needed was knowing that I would get an A or something close. This was very serious to me because now I'm gonna have who I consider to be a stranger come and grade my work. When it comes to school, I'm very intense and serious. It's like business for me. I've been screwed over so many times by teachers in the past in my high school who would purposely lose my work and would tell me I was never gonna make it to college. Little do they know 4.0. Oh, I treat it like like, you know, like the business world, as you should. So what did I do? I go home, I search Chef Dana, and I find his bakery. When people feel positively about something, a person, a thing, they usually find a connection within it, between them and that thing. And I would love for him to feel that way about my cake final, so that I could get a good grade. So I went through all of his wedding cakes, and I picked the one that I liked the most, that I thought I could actually do, and it was an Indian inspired theme, and I loved the design. I grew up surrounded by the Indian culture because I was always at my best friend's house and their family's Indian. So I was eating the food, cooking the food, learning the language, all that. You know you are at someone's house too much when every day before their mom comes home, you guys are all cleaning the house together, like as a family. And then she comes home and then y'all eat dinner. Like that was every day. That cake just really resonated with me. It had purple and orange in it. I just thought it was gorgeous. It had a combination of fondant and frosting that was piped. I had just learned how to pipe. You know, I believe in myself, so hey, whatever. We started working on our cakes about a week in advance, and we started doing toppers. So some of the students were making fondant flowers. I was like, I'm not even gonna really mess with that too much. At the time, my flowers, like, they looked good when they were still white, but then when I went to paint them, they were just like, ew, they were just nasty looking, just little diseased little flowers. As the days go on and as we're like really working on our wedding cakes and all of our little toppers and stuff, the chef instructor comes back and says, so it looks like I'm definitely gonna be getting him here. He ended up winning the show. The week that we found out that he won was the week that he was also coming to grade our finals. So that was like, whoa, he's back and he has time to come and grade the cakes. So people, I remember somebody literally saying, woohoo! Like, somebody said, whoa, and like stood straight up like a rocket ship and did like a little happy dance. Like, I was like, wow, okay. I didn't think it was that big of a deal until I actually talked to my cousin Jaleesa, and she was like, what? I love him. I was like, really? You know him too? People got straight to work. They're all pumped up and motivated. We were looking at each other's cakes in passing. You know when someone makes a face, they don't look excited like, the head tilt, the eyebrow raise, and then the, oh, okay. I was like, oh gosh, that's what some of the students did. So I'm looking at my cake. I just remember it looking dark. It didn't look like how I wanted it to. It didn't look as beautiful. It was definitely a student's cake, I'll just say that. So hey, now comes the day. He comes to the class and everybody, hi, yeah, they're clapping and we're clapping and we're making him feel welcome. And he comes in and he's all tall and he's wearing his chef whites also. His spirit felt so positive and he just felt like a nice regular guy, like just a really nice guy. He was happy to see us, happy to be there. And what was so great about that class is that there were only like 10 of us. So it was a very personal, close class, you know, and that was so great. That's what made it so much fun. And so he came in and we pretty much all just sat around and we talked for a minute. We asked him some questions. And this is when I personally was like, okay, I like him. At the time, I hadn't even thought of baking yet. And they asked him, when did you want to bake? Like, did you always love baking? Is it just what you were born to do? And he was like, no, actually, I was a chef. But somebody asked me for a wedding cake and I did it. And he's like, honestly, when you get that first check, I was like, yes! He's like, you get that first check, you see how much you can make doing one wedding cake? He's like, yeah, I couldn't go back after that. I felt him completely. So after all of that and the fun conversation comes the judging part. We put all of our wedding cakes up on a table together. Mine was like on the end of the table and it just looked dark. It looked shadowy and like a gray figure. Now I had my favorites. We all had our favorites and I don't think I was on anybody's favorites list. It looked like there was a cloud just over my cake. So he goes around to judge all the cakes. And he had a lot of great input. He really didn't say anything bad about anyone's cake in particular, just gave little critiques. And that was perfect because we're all students, you know what I mean? He gets to my cake and he did that look. And he kind of looked at it with his little board. Okay. I see where you were going with this. I want to say I know you do because this is based on your cake that you've done. He pointed out what he liked, you know, and he didn't say anything bad, but he didn't say anything great. He just said, he was like, I definitely see your vision. I like how you used the combination of fondant and buttercream. Then he started talking about how like piping work was a lost art is what he said, and I thought that was kind of interesting, and him and my instructor started talking about that. I didn't know if that was like a way to get off of the topic of my cake or what, but he was just like giving me props on it, like, you know, you piped onto the cake, and I was one of the only people who actually did that, even though it was just a little bit. But so he gave me some props on that, and he said, you definitely, you know, have something there and you'll get better as time goes on. And it was just very short and sweet. That's all I needed. And I think the whole point was he wanted to give us critique without putting anyone down, make anyone feel like they couldn't do it, and just encourage them. So the actual grade that he gave me was like a B. That was like 2 letter grades higher than I thought that I was gonna get. So that was great. I was definitely pretty content with that. Overall, I received an A in the class. I remember taking that cake home. I did get a ride that night. You know what I was doing back then to make some extra money for school? I would take the cakes that I made from school and I would slice them up and sell them. So I probably took it home and frosted it nicely and then sliced it and put it in containers and sold it to people at my mommy's job for $2 a slice. So overall, it was a really nice experience. He was very positive, had a very easygoing, relaxed attitude and nature about him. He was telling us about him and Buddy. He was like, yeah, we're friends, and everything was real on the show. I'm actually going to New Jersey to see him, and we worked together on different projects and events and stuff like that. Actually, you guys, this wasn't the only encounter that I had with him. I actually had another situation where he became a judge for 2 of the cake competitions that I entered in. That would be perfect for another cake tale. So make sure that you are subscribed so that you get notified for that cake tale. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think, and tell me if y'all watched the show, because I would love to know just if you were actually excited. Like, I would have loved to experience that excitement watching the show and the build up, and then knowing that he's coming to our school. Like, that would have been so cool. I was just like the video if you love cake tales and you want to see more. I put a poll out and you guys decided that Sundays was the day that cake tales should be out. So that's what we will do, okay? See you guys soon. Bye, Cake Nistas.